Silence is a weapon that reveals power without exposure. Every meeting, conversation, and glance is a battlefield where words can betray you faster than swords. Your enemy is not always the person opposite you. It is distraction, impulsive speech, and the compulsion to be heard. Life is a chessboard, and each interaction is a move. Speak before evaluating, and you surrender your position. Hold your strategy close. Observe, anticipate, and measure every gesture. Silence allows you to discern motives without revealing your own. When others speak, they reveal patterns and weaknesses. Track these carefully, cataloging intentions without intervention. Presence alone communicates command. Calm observation becomes authority. Every unnecessary word is a liability, a door through which influence can escape or be intercepted. Historical leaders demonstrate this principle repeatedly. Generals who spoke rashly lost their advantage. Rulers who revealed plans too soon faced revolt. Words are weapons only when deployed with precision, otherwise they wound the wielder. Treat conversation like a siege. Patience, timing, and positioning determine the outcome. Weak: I think we should consider options. Strong: we proceed with precision. Pause to listen, absorb, and decide. Each silence builds tension and respect. Each calculated nod, glance, or slight shift in posture conveys understanding without uttering a sound. Observe modern parallels: boardroom debates, online disagreements, or negotiations where premature commentary derails strategy. A colleague challenges your proposal publicly. You remain still, acknowledging the point briefly, letting their argument expose itself, then respond succinctly, redirecting focus without confrontation. Silence here acts as armor and sword. Discipline your tongue as rigorously as your mind. Preempt noise by planning mental responses. Anticipate objections and prepare internal counters. Every interaction is a chance to consolidate authority quietly. Notice how power gravitates toward those who weigh words carefully. Do not fill empty space with filler. Instead, let your composure speak. Position yourself as an immovable presence. People often follow the one who observes before acting. Your calm commands respect without needing volume or force. Like a predator watching its environment, let stillness cultivate insight. Exploit openings revealed by others' haste. Measure the impact of each sentence. Decide whether it strengthens your strategy or exposes vulnerability. Silence forces opponents to reveal intentions first, allowing you to act from advantage. Each day, practice restraint. Notice how attention shifts to the patient observer, the one who acts with timing and certainty. Your reputation grows silently, anchored in discernment rather than rhetoric. Every deliberate pause fortifies authority. Your eyes, posture, and selective speech become instruments of influence. The cost of noise is evident: exposure, misinterpretation, and lost leverage. The reward of silence is control, clarity, and command over outcomes. Embrace the power of absence. Let each unspoken word strengthen your position. Stand as sovereign in thought and presence. Rule the battlefield of interaction with quiet mastery. Observe, measure, dominate. Speak less, command more. Your mind is a throne, and every thought that passes unchallenged is a subject that may rebel. Before commanding others, secure your own dominion. Observe your impulses as a general surveys the terrain before battle. Distractions are insurgents seeking to destabilize your authority. Recognize them, confront them internally, and deny them entry. Strategic perception begins with clarity of attention. Notice how minor irritations, unexamined assumptions, or habitual reactions can erode control silently, like termites weakening a castle's foundation. Thought sovereignty is not passive. It demands deliberate engagement with every idea that surfaces. Question the motives behind your instincts. Measure emotional responses before they dictate action. Emotional armor is inseparable from silence. When the mind remains calm amidst chaos, it transforms turmoil into leverage. A heated disagreement at work offers a microcosm of this principle. A colleague attempts to provoke you publicly. Instead of reacting verbally, you maintain posture, tone, and gaze, observing their pattern, letting them reveal weaknesses while you remain unshaken. The less you reveal, the more authority you project. Strategic perception extends beyond internal control to external awareness. Watch how others maneuver, noting patterns and predicting outcomes. Each observation is intelligence. Each insight is a piece of your silent arsenal. Like chess, anticipation trumps reaction. Plan your mental moves as rigorously as any battlefield strategy. Notice the small cues, a glance, a pause, a hesitation, that disclose intentions before they manifest as actions. Internal mastery translates to external advantage. Silence in the mind manifests as measured action in the world. Emotional restraint prevents overextension. It shields you from manipulation and enhances decision-making. Weak, reacting immediately to insult. Strong, waiting, analyzing, and responding in precise alignment with long-term strategy. Build mental fortresses by practicing mindfulness and reflection daily. Examine patterns of thought, identify vulnerabilities, and reinforce discipline. Use internal drills, simulate pressure situations silently, testing responses without exposing weakness. Command your mind as you would an army, directing focus, energy, and intent with deliberate precision. Recognize that the throne you occupy is only as strong as the foundations of thought, awareness, and composure upon which it stands. Neglect internal control and external influence crumbles. Nurture mental sovereignty relentlessly. Anticipate manipulation before it arrives. Observe without attachment, analyze without haste, act without need for validation. Like a silent sentinel, your presence alone enforces authority. Let the mind's stillness speak louder than words ever could. Calm, controlled, perceptive, these are the hallmarks of true dominion. Guard the interior fortress before attempting to command the exterior battlefield. Master the mind, and you master every interaction, every thought disciplined, every emotion restrained. Every observation noted builds silent power. This is the first pillar of mastery. Command your mind, and all else follows. The morning is your first battlefield, and how you engage it sets the tone for every encounter to follow. Command your first hour as a general marshals troops. Before battle, every decision, movement, and thought is a formation of strategy. Conquer the dawn not with haste but with precision. Awaken with intention. Align your mind and body, and establish dominance over the day before others claim it. Preemptive strikes define silent power. Anticipate challenges, emails, meetings, social obligations, internal doubts, and prepare responses, resources, and posture without announcing your readiness. The quiet preparation of your environment, body and mind functions as armor and arsenal simultaneously. Even the smallest tasks executed deliberately signal mastery. Making your bed meticulously, reviewing priorities silently, or setting up your workspace methodically communicates control to both self and observer. Victory habits compound. Each completed morning ritual, each disciplined choice to rise before distraction solidifies your authority over time. This is not mere productivity, it is tactical training for the mind, a rehearsal for silent influence in all arenas. A colleague attempts to derail your focus by dropping an unexpected problem in your path. You pause, breathe, and address the matter with measured efficiency, revealing no frustration, no uncertainty, only command. Weak, reacting emotionally and fracturing focus. Strong, absorbing the challenge, recalibrating, and executing without unnecessary words or tension. This approach rewires perception. Others sense competence, calm, and readiness, even without a single declaration. Treat your morning as a miniature war. Territory is gained through decisive action, intelligence, and disciplined positioning. By establishing rhythm early, you dictate the tempo of subsequent interaction. Your energy, attention, and composure are your silent army. Use them strategically to preempt chaos and assert dominance. Do not underestimate small victories. They accumulate into unshakable authority. Each deliberate movement, each pre-planned choice, constructs an invisible fortification that shields against distraction, manipulation, and impulsivity. Track outcomes quietly, adjust routines with intent, and guard the integrity of your process. Like a master chess player controlling the board before the first move, your morning sets pieces in advantageous positions, unseen but undeniably effective. Command the early hours as you would a fortified outpost before the enemy's advance. Discipline, foresight, and consistency render you untouchable long before the day's battles arrive. Every dawn conquered without struggle becomes a foundation for silent mastery in every subsequent encounter. Let each sunrise remind you that control begins within, in actions unseen yet felt. Win the morning, and the day bows to you. Stillness is a weapon wielded with precision, a silent blade sharper than words. When you pause deliberately, you force opponents to act first, revealing strategies and weaknesses that would otherwise remain hidden. Treat every situation as a battlefield. Your stillness is both shield and sword, an unspoken signal that you control the tempo. Pause as strategy. Hesitation from your side is not weakness. It is reconnaissance. Observe movements, tone, and tension, noting cracks in posture or speech. The moment of calm allows insight to penetrate confusion, turning observation into tactical advantage. Presence without words is commanding. Stand in meetings, conversations, or negotiations as if your silence carries weight. The absence of commentary communicates authority more than any declaration ever could. A coworker attempts to provoke a reaction during a heated discussion. You remain composed, listening intently while others fill the space with agitation. Weak, responding immediately, escalating tension. Strong, holding silent, letting them expose motives and intervening with measured clarity. The sound of nothing disorients. In debates, presentations, or conflicts, measured silence draws attention to your presence and intentions. By withholding commentary, you redirect focus and allow others to reveal their cards first. Your stillness can reset the room's energy, subtly guiding outcomes without a single utterance. Silence becomes offensive, shaping perception, framing interactions, and asserting dominance without aggression. Like a predator surveying terrain, you do not rush. You wait, conserve energy, and strike only when the advantage is clear. Train your body to match this mental discipline. Posture, eye contact, and deliberate breathing reinforce invisible authority. Integrate pauses into routines, meetings, and communications, transforming habitual silence into an unmistakable strategic tool. Anticipate responses, consider angles, and allow the quiet to magnify your presence. Every calculated pause, every moment of unbroken composure, constructs an invisible citadel of power around you. Let stillness speak before speech. Let observation guide action. Let silence unsettle with intention. Command through quiet, and all will reveal itself. Control is forged, not in action alone, but in the ruthless culling of all that dilutes your focus. Begin by eliminating noise, trivial conversations, idle chatter, and the constant pull of social media fragment attention, and strengthen the strategies of those who wish to distract you. Treat every word not spoken as an asset, a shield against unseen adversaries. Silence is your armor, and every unnecessary exchange is a breach to be sealed. Target weakness deliberately. Assess yourself with brutal honesty. Which habits drain your energy? Which impulses compromise discipline? Remove them without hesitation. Equally, observe others closely. Recognize where indecision, vanity, or fear manifests, and allow your composure to exploit it subtly. A colleague insists on micromanaging a project, sowing friction among the team. You resist immediate confrontation, maintain calm oversight, and allow their overextension to reveal its flaws. Weak, responding in anger, creating chaos. Strong, observing silently, repositioning resources, and redirecting outcomes without a word. Sweep the board with precision, as a king in chess consolidates authority by removing every threat that hinders freedom of movement. Each decision to cut a habit, a distraction, or a toxic influence increases your strategic control over time. Optimize your environment, declutter spaces, streamline schedules, and minimize interruptions. Train your mind to recognize redundancy and act decisively, not impulsively. Every morning, identify the 3 areas where efficiency or clarity can be enforced. Implement those adjustments immediately, quietly, and consistently. Your presence becomes a statement. Nothing extraneous exists. Nothing untested persists. By treating life as a chessboard, every calculated elimination enhances foresight and consolidates influence. Silence becomes a tool for observation, assessment, and execution. Let no unnecessary voice divert your strategy. Let no weak habit compromise your sovereignty. Every decision to remove, refine, or fortify builds an invisible fortress of control around you. Maintain vigilance, act decisively, and let the board fall in your favor. Sweep ruthlessly, and power becomes inevitable. Authority is worn, not shouted. Assume the role of the observer, and let presence alone define command. Stand with deliberate posture, let shoulders anchor confidence, spine aligned like a throne unchallenged. Your gaze sweeps the room without need for declaration. Every movement, measured and calm, conveys control far stronger than any word. Position yourself where insight is maximal. Observe dialogues, debates, and decisions as if each is a chessboard and you hold the invisible king. Others reveal intent through speech and gesture. Your silence extracts the truth. In meetings, allow a colleague to dominate conversation, speaking rapidly to impress peers. You remain still, attentive, letting the rapidity of their words expose assumptions, contradictions, and weaknesses. Weak, jumping in to correct, asserting dominance verbally. Strong, holding position, noting patterns, influencing outcome by anticipation and presence. Non-verbal authority amplifies perception. A raised chin communicates certainty. A slow nod signals discernment. A pause in laughter conveys discernment over frivolity. Control perception by curating what you allow others to witness. Share information sparingly. Let their eagerness reveal hidden agendas or insecurities. In negotiations, a measured smile or delayed response shifts leverage without uttering a command. Subtle influence overrides overt action. A strategic placement at a round table signals prominence more than the loudest voice. Adjust optics, your entrance, your posture, your proximity. All manipulate attention and signal hierarchy. Avoid needless commentary. Silence magnifies the weight of presence. Every choice in positioning, gesture, and timing transforms interactions into tools of influence. Micro-adjustments accumulate. A chair pulled back, a hand rested calmly on documents, an unhurried pace. All convey dominance without confrontation. By mastering the mask of command, you cultivate untouchable authority, forcing others to reveal themselves while you remain inscrutable. Every observed nuance becomes actionable insight. Every quiet moment, a tactical advantage. Command without overt action, influence without speech, and the world responds to the power of your presence alone. Rule through presence, and silence becomes your crown. Silence is your sharpest weapon. Move through the world as if every thought is a blade, every observation a strike. The inner assassin thrives, not on confrontation, but on mental discipline, preemptively neutralizing threats before they emerge. Anticipate manipulations by analyzing patterns of behavior, inconsistencies in speech, and subtle gestures that reveal intent. Your mind becomes the battlefield, and strategy is your arsenal. Focus on psychological precision, observe without reaction, catalog every detail, measure every response. Timing is the edge between dominance and vulnerability. In a negotiation, for instance, a colleague may attempt subtle coercion through layered suggestions. You remain quiet, noting the cadence of their insistence and the cracks in their reasoning. Weak. Responding immediately, engaging emotionally. Strong. Withholding comment, recording details, planning intervention through position and leverage. Every decision is calculated, every action optional, for the assassin acts only when the mental conditions guarantee effect. Invisible execution begins internally. Master impulses, sharpen patience, and maintain clarity under pressure. Let discipline govern responses, ensuring that when you act, your moves are precise, unavoidable, and unseen until consequences unfold. Silence becomes both shield and sword. Observation is reconnaissance that allows you to strike with confidence and accuracy. Control over self extends to the environment. Remove distractions, limit exposure to unnecessary influences, and focus on what truly shapes outcomes. Every mental rehearsal, every anticipation of challenges strengthens your capability to act decisively without external aggression. Position yourself strategically in relationships and social settings, letting perception favor your presence. The predator waits, studies, and strikes mentally before motion dictates engagement. Every preemptive thought neutralizes potential threats. Each calculated observation charts opportunity. Micro-adjust. When a peer challenges your plan publicly, respond with calm acknowledgement, then redirect the initiative through subtle influence rather than debate. Internal mastery ensures that external confrontation is rarely necessary. Cultivate patience, sharpen analysis, and maintain absolute focus on strategic advantage. Through relentless internal discipline, your influence spreads silently, commanding outcomes without visible effort. Observe, calculate, dominate. Strike through thought, and the world bows unseen. Discipline is the sustenance of power. Feed the wolf within you with daily rituals that sharpen mind and body, fortifying resilience against the erosion of time and distraction. Consistency transforms fleeting energy into enduring strength. It is the hidden ally of those who move silently yet decisively. Train yourself with deliberate repetition, mental exercises that hone focus, physical routines that sustain vitality, and strategic reflection that strengthens foresight. Hunger is your compass, but direct it toward mastery, not validation. Desire for acknowledgement dilutes effectiveness. Desire for skill, perception, and control hones it. Channel ambition into silent progress, letting results speak where words would falter. A peer may flaunt credentials or achievements to command attention, yet you remain steady, feeding your internal edge while observing, learning, and calibrating responses. Weak, reacting defensively, engaging in competition for recognition. Strong, maintaining routine, enhancing capability, and letting subtle influence accrue without fanfare. Mental sharpness is a weapon. Without care, the blade dulls. Engage in deliberate intellectual expansion, analyzing systems, patterns, and human behavior with disciplined curiosity. Neglect erodes clarity and foresight, leaving you vulnerable to predictable pitfalls. Strategic pauses in action allow for recalibration and reflection. The predator never exhausts itself in haste. Physical conditioning underpins mental stamina. Sustained energy amplifies decision-making, ensuring every movement, every observation, and every restraint carries weight. Optimize rest, nutrition, and environment to maintain alertness. Position yourself for long-term engagement, resisting impulses that favor short-term satisfaction over enduring advantage. In moments of disagreement, respond with measured calm, redirecting focus to objectives rather than ego. Every decision, every restraint, and every ritual reinforces your sovereignty. Observe competitors and allies alike, noting their weaknesses while sustaining your own reserves. Treat daily discipline as the invisible armor that protects ambition and sharpens execution. The wolf is patient, calculating, and relentless. It survives by feeding intelligently, conserving strength, and striking with precision. Cultivate stamina, sharpen perception, and fortify resilience until silent power becomes unmistakable. Maintain hunger, discipline, and mental acuity as your constant companions. Feed the wolf, and dominance endures. Sustain the edge, and the world bends silently. Position yourself as the master of the board. Every interaction, whether social, professional, or personal, is a calculated move in a game few recognize. Silence is your queen, versatile, commanding, and capable of reshaping the field without announcing intent. Anticipate the reactions of those around you. Study patterns, habits, and inclinations. When a colleague reacts predictably to pressure, adjust your strategy before they sense influence. When a friend misjudges your patience, maintain composure and observe. Anticipation allows you to act decisively while others scramble defensively. Sometimes, influence is amplified by letting go. Sacrifice control in a minor skirmish to gain leverage elsewhere. Relinquishing a superficial argument or conceding a point in public does not weaken authority. It reallocates energy to the central battle where your presence carries weight. Weak, insisting on immediate victory at every turn. Strong, discerning which moves truly impact long-term positioning. Control the center of your environment, the locus where multiple interactions converge. Occupy spaces, literal or metaphorical, where your decisions ripple across fronts. A leader in a meeting room, for instance, commands attention not through volume, but through strategic placement, timing, and decisive gaze. Manage information, prioritize observation, and let your actions align with anticipated consequences. In moments of disagreement, respond with measured authority. A peer may challenge your approach, yet you remain composed, redirecting focus toward shared objectives rather than reactive rebuttal. Weak, reacting defensively. Strong, guiding the outcome while remaining silent and observant. Combine patience with calculated action. Let others reveal their intentions, weaknesses, and patterns, while you retain freedom to maneuver. Maintain awareness of timing. The right move at the wrong moment diminishes impact. Use subtle influence to align outcomes with your objectives without overt displays. Protect your mental space, avoiding distractions that dilute strategic clarity. Positioning, anticipation, and disciplined restraint collectively enhance silent power. Each interaction is a node on your board. Your moves determine leverage, reputation, and opportunity. Treat social landscapes as strategic territory. Let patience, observation, and foresight dictate engagement. Sacrifice inconsequential skirmishes, dominate the center, and anticipate the unseen. Through disciplined positioning and calculated restraint, influence expands without confrontation. Your power is silent, adaptive, and pervasive. Command the board, and all moves bend to you. Discipline is the forge of power. Each day, you armor your mind with deliberate exercises. Reflection, focus, and controlled attention become invisible shields against chaos. Begin by structuring morning routines to command mental clarity, not distraction. Resist the pull of impulse and craving. Every moment yielded to convenience diminishes authority. Every instance of restraint strengthens silent command. Weak, reacting immediately to irritation. Strong, observing, recalibrating, and responding with precision. Forge resilience through repeated exposure to discomfort. Endure minor frustrations deliberately, conditioning emotional fortitude that translates into unwavering presence when stakes rise. In professional environments, hold your ground when colleagues attempt to provoke reaction. Let silence and steady focus speak louder than argument. Your calm becomes an unspoken instruction. Strength resides in control, not noise. Feed the predator within by challenging mental thresholds. Read, solve, reflect, and rehearse difficult conversations silently before they occur. Strategic preparation transforms potential vulnerability into latent power. Reserve energy for decisive moments, conserving influence while observing. Recognize temptation as a test of sovereignty. Whether a lure of recognition, validation, or convenience, abstaining fortifies authority. Micro-decisions accumulate, choosing thought over impulse, patience over reaction, endurance over surrender. In social settings, this manifests as a composed presence. Peers notice steadiness, opponents miscalculate, opportunities shift in your favor. Repetition is your ally. Ritualized mental discipline creates automatic fortitude. Daily armor is not decoration, but infrastructure of influence. Endurance transforms silence from passive defense into unstoppable force. Maintain consistencies even when progress feels imperceptible. Mastery is often invisible until decisive action reveals its results. Treat setbacks as training, discomfort as sharpening, and restraint as assertion. Every controlled breath, every unspoken thought, every deliberate pause reinforces unshakable will. Strong habits protect you from the erosion of focus, distraction, and fatigue. Construct life as a series of deliberate exercises in restraint and readiness. Strength is not announced, it is embodied. Prepare relentlessly, resist temptation relentlessly, endure relentlessly. Let your presence alone set the tone for interactions. The iron will is forged daily, tempered by discipline, patience, and calculated resistance. Stand unbroken, and silence becomes your sword. Power is silent, but its presence is unmistakable. You move through life as though the air itself bends to your will. Command without words. Let your composure dictate outcomes, while others flail with speech and impulse. Position yourself like a central fortress on a battlefield. Every decision, every glance, every pause exerts influence that remains unseen yet undeniable. Anticipate reactions, but act only when advantage aligns. Let observation shape strategy. Sacrifice minor engagements when the greater position demands, allowing others to expend energy while you conserve strength. Detachment becomes your shield. When criticism or provocation arises, respond with measured silence rather than defense. In a meeting where colleagues argue over trivial matters, stand quietly, letting your calm render their noise impotent, your insight unquestioned. Invisible sovereignty manifests in subtle gestures, a nod, a pause, a controlled expression signaling authority without declaration. Every interaction is a chess move. Protect the king within, maneuver the queen of influence, and control the center of perception. Avoid overexposure, reveal only what necessity demands. Your absence of reaction cultivates respect. Your restraint generates reverence. Detachment protects against manipulation. When others attempt to provoke fear, desire, or doubt, meet them with steady poise. Each choice is deliberate, each pause calculated. Sustain mental sharpness, for untouchability relies on clarity of thought as much as composure. Your presence becomes a force field. People act around you, yet cannot breach your focus. Let your silence carry weight, your decisions carry consequence, and your consistency carry authority. Build rituals that reinforce endurance, controlled breathing, reflection, physical readiness, and mental rehearsal. Let desire for mastery, not recognition, guide each action. Others may speak loudly, move quickly, or react impulsively, but your silent strategy accumulates unseen leverage. In social settings, your calm can redirect tension. In professional spheres, your observation informs decisive action. Guard your attention as a treasure. Prioritize influence over engagement. Untouchable mastery emerges when action, thought, and restraint align seamlessly. Stand at the center, unmoved, unshaken, unspoken, your sovereignty hidden but undeniable. Move unseen, rule unchallenged, remain untouchable. Power is observed, not announced, and the silent command carries further than any speech. You occupy the space like a throne, unseen, yet undeniable. Every movement deliberate, every pause a declaration of dominance. Power is forged in silence, not speech, and authority grows where restraint governs. Each day, commit to small victories, a controlled response, a measured glance, a withheld comment. These accumulate into invisible dominance, a presence that shifts outcomes without uttering a word. Observe others as a general survey of the battlefield. Anticipate moves, detect weaknesses, and position yourself advantageously. Let your calm convey competence, while chaos and noise reveal vulnerability in those around you. Discipline your reactions. Emotional restraint is the weapon that commands attention. In a team disagreement, allow voices to clash while you remain composed, letting decisions naturally align with your quiet authority. Avoid unnecessary disclosure. Every word carries weight, and missteps erode influence faster than inaction. Ritualize reflection and preparation, reinforcing internal control that extends outward into social mastery. The price of noise is steep. Those who speak impulsively invite misunderstanding, exploitation, and loss. Silent observation magnifies perception, granting insight into motivations, alliances, and hidden dynamics. Predictable reactions are weaknesses. Unpredictable, measured responses build reverence and deference. Exercise patience as your ally. Delay judgment, consider all angles, and act only when advantage is unmistakable. Frame interactions strategically. Weak, reacting immediately. Strong, calculating silently, letting others reveal intent first. Weak, justifying decisions with words. Strong, demonstrating certainty through composed action. Weak, competing for attention. Strong, commanding presence by absence of need. Daily sovereignty is cultivated through consistent practice, turning small disciplined acts into a force that commands respect effortlessly. Your influence extends not by volume but by precision and timing. Mastery is iterative. Each silent choice strengthens authority. Each controlled pause compounds perception of power. Let others exhaust themselves in noise and agitation while you advance strategically, unseen yet decisive. A quiet demeanor does not diminish action, it amplifies it, concentrating potency in every step. Rule through presence, anticipation, and self-command. Observe silently, move decisively, rule without a word.